I'm very excited about like sharing some of the work that we have been doing over the course of this whole year. When we started off our product roadmap for MoEngage in the start of the year, we basically kind of made AI as a key focus on in terms of our top priority in our product roadmap. And I'm glad to share some of the exciting work that we have done and products that we are rolling out today, and also kind of like share some of the vision that we have in terms of where we are headed. And for those of who probably don't know about MoEngage, we are a customer engagement platform for primarily focused on B2C brands and enabling marketers and product owners to really kind of deliver highly personalized customer experiences across all the touch points for you as a brand and helping you increase your customer lifetime value. That's what we do at MoEngage. We have customers of over 1350 global customers with over 800 employees globally. Let's start with the big elephant in the room today. There's a lot of buzz about AI. There's been a recent MIT report saying that 95% of the AI pilots and implementations are failing. I mean, they're implementing these AI pilots and AI tools, but they're failing to deliver real results. Only 5% of them are really kind of delivering results in terms of what they expected to do with. And this is a big challenge, right? And when we kind of looked at like what are the key drivers of this this scenario, right? I think there are three key things that we have observed. I mean, even we from our standpoint and as MoEngage, we have been working on multiple kind of AI pilots to change the way that we at different functions of MoEngage do our work, whether it is customer success, marketing, product, and so on. And there are three main things that we felt are key drivers. One is like, I think I heard Anya was also mentioning about access to quality data. That's one of the important challenges, like access to not just having data, but also data that is hygiene, that is properly labeled and processed. The second is context. I mean, if today, for example, like if you as a marketer, you can obviously kind of go to ChatGPT or Gemini and then kind of put this prompt, but it doesn't have the business context of what you as a brand are, what you stand for, what is your brand tone, and so on, right? And then the other part is also the learning aspect, like, is it learning from your past campaigns or past interactions, and is it kind of giving you better copies, for example, in the case of marketing, and then kind of improving the kind of content that it is generating, right? The third is workflow. I mean, today, like there can be all these tools that you can have for content creation, QC, and all of it, but all of these tools need to be kind of easily embedded into your existing workflow. Otherwise, you're actually kind of dealing with all these myriad of tools and having to kind of keep using all of these tools and still not solving for the productivity gains that you're looking for. Especially yesterday in the customer advisory board meeting, we saw that a lot of our customers have just like 2 to 4 people in their CRM marketing team. So all of them are looking for like how can they actually kind of do a lot more from the team that they have. So we are solving all of our kind of, I would say, when we look at our AI vision, and we call it as Million AI is a suite of all of our AI products. The idea is to kind of how can we enable marketers create magic, create magical experiences with all the sort of products and capabilities that we can bring to the table. And we also focus on ensuring that we're not just kind of creating slides and kind of giving the vision. We really believe in giving real products and capabilities in your hands. And love to hear your thoughts. And there are 3 key tenets of our vision. The first part, as I was mentioning about the importance of the workflow. So we want to make sure that we have a purpose-built AI for marketers that's deeply embedded into your workflow of creating campaigns, defining strategy to kind of campaigns and execution. So we want it to be deeply embedded into your existing workflow. And the other important part, I think, as Rohit was mentioning about, like one of the important things that we saw more and more brands are focusing on is like how can they have like a next best action that they can actually kind of deliver to their customers? How can they have AI enable that matching of which campaign or which offering or value proposition should be shown to which customer? How can they make that happen? Because that's how, and we call it as AI decisioning, which basically enables the results. And it needs to be deterministic. It should not be hallucinating. And that's going to be an important factor, right? And then the third key tenet of our vision is like the explainability, in terms of like why a given customer is shown a given communication or offer, and how did the AI capability really impact my business results or customer outcomes. And the other part is also being open and modular in nature. So we want all our AI capabilities and agents need to be kind of fully open, so that you can bring our AI agents into your existing enterprise search or enterprise agentic platforms like ChatGPT or Microsoft Copilot and so on, and also kind of bring like AI outputs from your internal work, like some of the agents that enterprises at your end are building, whether it could be like recommendation outputs or next best action outputs that your enterprise are building. How can we kind of make it bring into MoEngage? So these are some of the key tenets of our vision. When we mean by the purpose built within the workflow and embedded in the workflow, so if I look at a CRM marketer or practitioner, so these are some of the key aspects of the workflow that we think. Like it could be like discovering which customers to kind of engage, which are some of the segments of opportunities, which are some customers who have a propensity to churn, and also kind of being able to kind of create segments in a intuitive fashion, and then building or creating content and campaigns. And we want to kind of build agents that will enable you to kind of create these at scale. And then the important part is the activation part. So once you kind of create all these campaigns and content, how can we kind of make it easier for you to kind of serve all these content and campaigns to the relevant people on the right channel at the right moment, and then automatically driving towards conversions and outcomes. And all of these capabilities need to have a feedback loop, so that we bring that the context and learning, and these AI agents and capabilities can really improve over time. And the other important part, as I was mentioning, is decisioning, which basically enables that matching of which customer should receive which offer or which campaign, is an important part of the workflow that we are building. And we are leveraging reinforcement learning capabilities to kind of build the decisioning capabilities. In fact, I mean, most of the AI models today are trained and improved leveraging all the reinforcement learning methodology. With that, I would like to kind of talk about how our agents are evolving. Earlier this year, we rolled out what we called as segment assist. The idea is that how can we, like today for CRM marketers to create all the segments and audiences, they need to understand all the data points that the engineers instrument and implement. And it makes it challenging because they need to understand what each profile attribute or what each event mean. They need to know. And when you have a new CRM team member, it makes it very challenging for them to kind of create these audiences and segments. And we wanted to kind of take this from like, hey, how can we make it easier from an idea to kind of a segment on audience, make it easy. And we rolled out what we call it as segment assist, where, for example, here is a financial services company who can say, hey, create a segment of customers who started an application for a credit card, but didn't complete the application. And then once you do that, and there's a product that is already live, from the natural language, it identifies what the data points that it needs to look at. So it identifies that, okay, it's like a BFSI card viewed as the event for the start of the card. And then it identifies the event for the completion, and then automatically kind of creates that segment. And when we did that, and we rolled it out, and we have seen some good adoption from our customers, one of the things that we heard and that we have seen as a feedback is that, hey, the AI agent can only work well if your data is labeled well. And we have seen not all customers have labeled their data well in terms of the metadata. So we wanted to solve that problem, again, leveraging AI. So we rolled out another agent that basically generates the descriptions automatically for your data. So like, let's say you have all these events that you instrument, which automatically kind of generates some of the descriptions. Like here you can see hey, what a given event means. And this is also generated by Million AI. So which basically improves the segment assist as a product. And thereby you can look at all the descriptions, you can make some corrections to it, and make the segment assist really work very well. And the next agent that we rolled out about 18 months ago is what we call it as Million AI Copywriter, which enables marketers to create marketing copies, whether it could be a push notification copy or an email subject line or an in-app messaging copy, and also like variants of copies. One of the important use cases that we have seen is that many of our customers like take an existing copy from their creative team, and they generate variants of those copies with human in the loop, And this one of the kind of, I would say, we now have like 30% of our customers leveraging the Million AI copywriter on a monthly basis. And the best part is we added an intelligence layer on top of it where we are automatically taking all the existing campaigns that are performing well, and we include the high performing keywords from all the copies that were already running, so that it makes it easier for marketers to kind of pick, hey, generate a variant of this existing copy, but also include some of the high performing keywords. Or I can also define the specific tone. And do I want to be like it would be like a FOMO oriented, or it should be like an informational oriented? So you can define all these additional prompts and generate more variants of these copies. And our customers are not just seeing like increase in productivity, but also seeing real results. Because now that they have more copies, which again, they can leverage the content optimization approach to really kind of see higher engagement and conversion rates as well. Again, when we roll this out, we have seen great adoption. But one of the important things that we also realized is that, I mean, our marketing teams want the copies to be on brand. It needs to understand like our brand tonality, the brand imagery, and needs to create copies which basically are on brand. To solve that problem, we introduced what we call it as a brand LLM kit. The brand LLM kit works in two ways. It takes your existing marketing copies and it automatically generates, say, kind of, I would say, brand guidelines inbuilt. And at the same time, if you're a new customer of MoEngage, you can also upload like a brand guide that you have and make it explicit which the LLM should use. So this is how it works. You can kind of like create your copy in terms of like, let's say, for example, this is the one which generated without basically giving a brand book. And once you have uploaded your brand book, McDonald's is not a customer, but we uploaded their existing brand book that we have publicly available. Now, once you kind of run the prompt, where you also want to generate not just the copy, but also the image, it generates now with the on-brand sort of, I would say, in terms of the copy and the image, right? In this case, we're solving the context as well as learning in terms of the overall problem statement that I was mentioning about. So we're also bringing new AI agents. This is one of the new agents that was just rolled out. When we look at solving for like new agentic use cases, we started looking at what are some of the key problems our customers are facing. A lot of CRM marketers, they want to kind of create this dynamic content. But when they want to create the dynamic content, they need to leverage a templating language. And everyone hates it, whether it is Jinja or it is AmpScript or Liquid, whatever you call it. Everyone hates writing a templating language. And we saw this as a real problem, and we wanted to kind of solve this. And that's where Jinja Assist comes into picture. So Jinja Assist basically kind of helps you kind of like with prompts. For example, in this case, you want to kind of create an email with including the recommendations of products from a given recommendation set. And you can define that. It generates the code, and you can preview it. You can also see how the preview looks like for specific customer profiles, so that you can understand how each customer profile looks like. And then if you want to, for example, in this case, I want to kind of have different recommendations, for example, for people on a given loyalty tier. So you can add that additional prompt that, hey, I want to kind of, for customers with a loyalty tier, I want them to see discounted pricing. So the same widget is being shown to different customers in a different output. So this is one of the common challenges that we have seen as CRM practitioners face, and we are solving that with AI. And the second most new agent that we are bringing to live is what we call it as in-app template builder. In-apps is one of the largest channels of engagement that our customers use. In-apps is basically these kind of, I would say, like a nudges and prompts that you see within the app. People spend a good amount of time to kind of either code these in-apps or actually create these, what you get sort of editors. So we wanted to kind of make it easier to kind of solve for these in-app templates. So we launched what we call it as in-app template builder. So for example, if you want to kind of create a in-app template called like spin the wheel, and you can define like, okay, I want to create a beautiful interactive in-app, and it needs to kind of look like this, and you can see the text as well as the preview, and you can iterate on the feedback. You can say that I want to kind of like change the background, and you can also say that. So with natural language, very similar to how you would do on a ChatGPT or Gemini, but we brought it integrated within the MoEngage product, and then it automatically you can save it as a template. You can also kind of have it leverage the brand book as well. And we are bringing all these agents to Million AI Studio. So Million AI Studio brings all the agents that you have, like copywriter, segment assist, flow assist, and so on. And then we also kind of have an inspiration of examples that you can do with them with in terms of leveraging all these agents. And this is something that's going live next month, and something we are very excited about. And we want to kind of add more and more team of marketing agents to the Million AI Studio. Now, coming to the next important part of our vision, which is decisioning. And we look at decisioning into two different aspects. One is what we call it as offer decisioning, and the second one we call it as campaign decisioning. Offer decisioning is like, okay, how do we kind of help enable brands serve next best actions or next best offerings to your customers on your app, web, and all other channels. And campaign decisioning is more about, like, given a given goal, how do I kind of enable which customer should receive what campaign at the right time and frequency and channel. Now let's talk about the offer decisioning. So look at Amazon. So when you open the Amazon app, the whole carousel of what you see on the app is very personalized and relevant to different for each customer. But there are a lot of different offerings, and each customer kind of sees only the most relevant ones. But this is a very advanced technology, which basically enables this sort of a advanced decisioning. And this sort of technology is not available for most consumer brands, right? And we want to kind of democratize this. When we call it as offered decisioning, we're not just referring to kind of like incentives or discounts. These offerings can be new product announcements. It could be even like categories that you want to communicate to your customers. It could even be like sign up communications, like signing up to a newsletter and so on. Why is it not happening today, right? So what is the reason why companies are not able to kind of do this sort of one-to-one app or web experiences? What we have seen is that many brands rely on like an internal static CMS platform to be able to kind of like do this. Like many of the times, engineers build like a CMS platform which content creators use to kind of create all these. And we have seen that most of the times in most brands, all of these carousels and banners and widgets that you see on the apps are primarily kind of curated or have very basic segmentation. They don't have very intelligent AI-driven decisioning. And also, there are no third-party tools that are doing this a great job at, where there are no third-party tools that are kind of enabling brands to kind of bring all of their web and app placements and making it easier for marketers, right? So that's what we are trying to solve with offer decisioning. A given brand can kind of define all the different offerings. And for every offering, you can define the eligibility of that offering. Like, for example, a given offer could be eligible only to, let's say, prime customers, or it could be customers in a given city or a location. And you can also, as a business, you can define some controls and priority. It could be like, okay, I want to show a given offering only during this certain time period, or only want to kind of show it only like 3 times in a week and things like that. And let decisioning automatically kind of, and you have various types of decisioning rules that you can define. It could be an AI-driven decisioning, which automatically kind of picks up the most relevant offering or action that should be communicated to each customer towards the goal metric that you have. Or it could be a simple priority-based approach as well. And you can bring all of your templates like that you have on your app and website onto MoEngage to enable this. How does it work? So here is a simple video of how you can create an offering. For example, as an e-commerce brand, I'm creating an offering for customers, like basically kind of a 48-hour pre-sale. Like I want to show it only to the prime customers before the actual sale. I want to kind of communicate to them. And you can create this sort of offering with all the priority. And the best part, what we have done is that we brought all our templates or placements that you have on your app and website within the MoEngage product, so that your marketing team has a very nice preview-based approach where they can see how the actual presentation would look like on the app or on the website. And then that's how you can create a simple offer. It takes no time to kind of create and launch an offer. And then once you do that, you also have what we call it as a decisioning policy. So you can define, hey, now we have all these offers. Now I want to kind of have a placement on my homepage or a listing page or on the product page. I want to kind of have a ranking strategy. It could be a AI-driven ranking strategy or a priority-based ranking strategy. and define like, okay, how many of the, like if it is a carousel, I want to show like 3 cards in the carousel. I can define number of offerings that I want to show in a given placement. And this is how the output would look like. Now, for example, for an anonymous visitor, the same website, they would see like cards like here, like sign up to our newsletter. But for Sarah, who is basically a loyal, who is on the Prime loyalty tier, and she has affinity towards like Nike as a brand, she would see, hey, Sarah, your Prime member access to 48-hour pre-sale is here. Or she would see the offerings related to the Nike as a brand. And we also have some offerings which basically are relevant to kind of like someone, if it's their birthday month, they would see certain specific cards relevant to them. So they would see like not just like Jane, who depending upon the category affinity and also on the birthday, she would see like a birthday promotion as well. And the best part is you can have these not just on the homepage, but also across the overall funnel, whether it could be listings page or in the product page and so on. So we are very excited about this product. It's already live. We are one of our largest customers live with offer decisioning. And the other thing that we are working on is what we call it as campaign decisioning. Today, our customers leverage flows to create these various use cases. So in our journeys or flows, you can define like what we call it as a goal. Let's say, for example, you want to drive repeat purchases from your customers who made one purchase. So what we are trying to do is that how can we kind of bring all of that a deterministic approach to a completely AI-driven approach. So you can define like agents for different use cases. For example, you could have you could have an agent to drive repeat purchases from your first-time purchasers. You can define the guardrails in terms of how many times a communication should go to a given customer. You can define any eligibility controls. And you can define all the campaigns that should be decisioned by this decisioning agent. And you can define all the frequency and timing options that should be leveraged by the decisioning agent. And then the decisioning agent runs almost every day. And then whenever any given customer kind of like profile, it automatically decisions which customer should see what campaign, what channel, what timing, and then it communicates. And it takes the feedback loop in terms of like how a given customer has engaged with a given channel and campaign, and takes that as an input with leveraging reinforcement learning, and then really it improves how to optimize for similar types of customers, and then solving for that goal. This is something that's going live in the next few months, and we are very excited about this product and would love to kind of have work with some of our customers for beta. Yeah, I know I covered a lot. With that, I would like to wrap up. We have the MoEngage next, where we would go into some of the details of these products. That's coming up on 15th of October. So you can scan the QR code and sign up for it. Thank you.